So welcome everybody to TA Tuesday. And this is our third episode for TA Tuesday. And in this TA Tuesday, we have Elite Trading, special guest today. So glad he was able to join us. He'll be sharing some insights in charting pertaining to penny stocks market. He's always dropping in updates and trade calls in the penny stock channel. If you haven't visited that channel, please do. I'm excited to hear all about it, as I feel like our meme coin enthusiasts may really enjoy trading penny stocks. Have a feeling. But as always, anything represented is solely the perspective of the analyst, and always make sure to do your own research. G-Force is on the call as well, and he'll be joining after Elite, and he'll be sharing some highlights from the stock charts and market insights. And then after the gentlemen are done with the charting, we will then open up community Q&A for questions regarding charts, trading ideas, or just general market sentiment. So Elite, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you and let you take it from here.
Cool, thank you. So what I basically do is I trade penny stocks. Well, we call it a penny stock, but a real true penny stock is a stock below a penny. But that was like way back in the day when the stocks were in the OTC market and the fake companies were trying to pump it up. But we just refer to them as penny stocks just because they move pretty quickly, and you can make significant amount of money in the amount of time that it moves. And there is some predictability on it. So it's just pretty much, what I trade now is just listed plays. What we call them penny stocks, listed plays that are low float and that can move pretty quickly. And they do have news. So either the stocks that I play has news on the day, or it's just a daily pattern, or a stock that just has volume for some sort of reason, and it can just go. So, but yeah. So with that being said, I'm not sure the recent supernova that we had was TOP, and this stock literally went from around $9, and it just, so this is the daily. So I'm just going to show you one or two patterns that you can play if you miss the run. You can play these stocks for a first green day type of play. So let's say here's the daily on TOP, went from $9 all the way up to $247. Jesus Christ, that's an insane run. Obviously, this was a clear pump and I think it had news, but definitely shorts get over aggressive in the penny stock land just because they know penny stocks are pretty much garbage, so they want to just short the hell out of them and make that quick money. But what happens sometimes is that when shorts get over aggressive and they get trapped and they can't, it's not breaking down, it can squeeze them to eternity. So which would happen on TOP here. This went from 9 all the way to 247. Let's just say you missed this play. So here's the daily. Say you missed it. You see 9 all the way to 247. You're like, man, I missed that play. That sucks. But then you don't worry, because there's a way to play it on the downside as well. To the downside, to the long side. So all you got to do is you just wait for this thing to break down at least 50% or more from its highs, and you want to play this at the open. So here is the overview here. So here's the after the fact, the TOP. Here's the intraday. After the fact, this TOP went all the way to 180 or wherever it went to. You can see that it clearly, it topped out here. You definitely don't want to be chasing out here, but you want to be waiting for that first green day play. So here's 175. It drops all the way down in the day here to 100, and it drops all the way down after hours, all the way down here to 65. And what you want to look for on the first green day play is kind of like a red to green move or a massive volume coming through on the day. So already from 175 to 85, that's already 50% from its highs. But if you look down here at the volume bar, this is the 3-minute chart. If you look at the volume, it's extremely weak. It's extremely weak, and then it spikes right out the gate here from around 65 all the way to 85. Of course, you always want to have risk in mind. So 65, if you were to buy this and wait for the 3 minute candle to form, and you were to, because I always enter on the 1 minute when the 1 minute ends, or the 3 minute. I don't enter anywhere between a minute and 30 seconds or a minute and 40. You always want to wait for the candle to form. So if you see this candle forming here and it's on the 3 minute and it goes from 65 to 85, and my risk is always below that candle. So already from 65, if I were to buy at 85, something, risking 65, that risk is already too much. And then volume was extremely weak. So you don't want to get faked out there, So that's like, okay, that risk is big and I don't see strong volume, so I'm not going to enter. And then, so what you want to do is, okay, this is definitely due for a bounce still. It only bounced like 65 to 85. I don't know the percentage of that, but that's not that much of a bounce. So here's the intraday. Here's massive selling. Here's a candle with massive selling. And so I was just watching this play here for a potential first green day play. So it just continues to fall down. Same deal with this one. Sorry for the chart, guys. It's a screenshot, so if you can't see it, I know it's a little small. It's kind of hard to see. But again, if you see this candle down here this candle only had 20,000 shares coming through, and that's not a lot of volume. And the candle was a little weak still too. So here's another day or another red day coming through. Finished. They opened here. We closed red here. So that's another day, another red day. But here's the day you want to look for. Shorts. The reason why this happens is because shorts need to cover their position from whoever gets lucky in at 175. Obviously they're going to want to cover their positions because everyone wants to make money. So when that happens, there's a way to spot that. So right out the gate, you can already tell the difference. If you notice this volume down here, over 100,000 shares coming through being bought and sold. That's already an indication. Shorts are covering mixed with buyers stepping in. That's a clear indication as a first green day play, and you can tell it is because if you look at the volume and then you look at the previous volume, you can tell. You see this massive candle right here. That's something to notice right here. So entering here, if you're confident enough and you see, okay, so I'm gonna wait for this candle to form. I see volume coming through. All right, cool. And then you see, even though it spiked to 65.72, you'll be risking 53.94. But if you know it's the first green day and you know it can bounce, then go ahead and have the confidence to pull the trigger. And your sell targets, that's where it gets kind of hard if you're not really used to it. Your sell targets are going to be, you can either always adjust if you're in, and you can always just adjust your risk as the stock moves up, or you can look at the previous days where there was massive selling, and usually these stocks like to touch on weakness. So this is extreme weakness. So it spikes here, and it kind of tops out almost over here to 85 because this is large selling, large red candle. These stocks love to touch those large red candles where there was massive selling. So you can see it went to 85. It kind of got up a bit above that, then it rejected right away. And that was TO. This is the intraday. And that was TOP. And so here again, here's the daily on TOP. Again, it went from 9 all the way to 247. You missed the play. No worries. Wait for that first green day play. And here's that first green day play right here. This candle right here. This is on the day how it finished. So that was a nice little play there. And to show you guys another example of the first green day play, here's UCAR, right? So here's the daily on UCAR. It goes from 10. I think this was an IPO. It goes from 10 all the way to 70. Jesus Christ, that's a lot. So you missed the run, no problem. You just wait for this thing to fall down at least 50% from its highs, and you always want to play it at the open. So I was watching. So here's the daily. So I was watching UCAR here after it dumped on down. This is after the run. So you always want to play it at the open. Always watch these red candles as they open. When it overtakes it with volume, that's when the first green day is called the red to green move. So especially with this sort of downtrend movement, it's like this kind of movement. I love seeing this movement just because it's due for a bounce here, like these lower highs, and you kind of know it's due for a bounce because it's shorts need to cover. It's not going to go down forever unless it has no volume, because this one definitely had volume. So when it has volume, shorts are in it, eyes are on it. And then So with UCAR, you always want to play these first green. It's the first green day play again. You always want to play it at the open, right? At the open. So here's the weak open. Here's the red move, and then as it holds the low a day here, and you can already tell you already have massive selling out the gate, which is a good sign because this can also mean shorts are getting trapped even more. And then it's kind of holding, and then as you see this massive volume coming through, 1.5 million shares being bought and sold here at this 540 level, overtaking this volume. So I love seeing volume bars equal to or greater than the previous selling because that means it equals out and there's pressure to the upside. So here's that first green day play here because here's one red day, two red days. It just keeps falling. Shorts need to cover. So here's this play right here again. Notice a massive volume compared to the previous days. Nice red to green move, and like I said, these stocks like to test weakness. So wherever there's a large shelf, this is kind of called a shelf right here, where it just kind of just drops on off. That's extreme weakness, and these plays love to test those zones. So you buy here at 540, risking 507, which is beautiful risk. Never touches 507, and then you kind of look at the date. You can either adjust your risk as it goes if you feel comfortable, and if you're really good, just look at the previous daily and kind of just understand where the extreme selling is and extreme red candles, and that's where I like to test. So you'll buy here at 540, and it tests this shelf here at almost near 670. So another first green day play, just in case if you missed the plays, it's a pretty simple play. But you just gotta keep your eyes on it because you just don't know what day it'll bounce. But just understand the volume is key. Volume tells you everything. That's the key. That's the volume is king and key. But yeah, again, here's the daily on UCAR. UCAR is right here. So here's the run, 70, at least 50% from its highs, half of 70, $35. Okay, it doesn't have the red to green move on the daily. It just keeps falling on down. Shorts are in here. They need to cover their position. So here's the daily and that's what I mean by first green day, where it has like consecutive red days. 1, 2, 3, first green day, and then it pops on up. So that's just a first green day play. Those happen all the time. I'll document more, and you'll see for yourself. Like, oh, damn, that is true. That really does happen. But I usually just try to play. I play those too, but if there's opportunity on the day, like INAB, for instance, I believe INAB had news, and it's when I trade in the morning, I always look at my scanner here. This is a picture of a scanner that I took the other day, and here's a scanner. So I just look at the ticker symbol, and I look at the float. If it's a low float, that means it can move quickly. If it's a large float, it means it's going to take a while to move. What the float means is just the shares available to the public. So me and you, retail traders. The lower the float, the less shares are out there to get, the more volatile it'll move. It's like supply and demand. But here's INAB. So this one had news. And looking on the daily, you notice on the daily, it's all about volume again. So notice there's absolutely zero volume here except for this day right here. So this is the day that it ripped, and it usually, like I said, the stocks like to test previous resistance. So here's previous resistance at 330 on the daily. So I'm already seeing this in the morning. I'm already saying, okay, this can spike. It's got low volume. We got a volume bar here, and we know my sell target will be around this 330 area. And now for intraday, all we have to do is wait for volume to come through. So intraday here's volume. I believe I tried to take this play in the morning. I took a loss because I entered right here. I saw volume coming through, over 3 million shares being bought and sold. That's a lot. That's a lot of shares. So I knew pressure. I knew eyes were on it. So I bought here, I believe, and I had to sell down here. I had to cut below. I'm always risking right below those candles. And then you see this large selling candle right here. That means that's a good sign for the shorts. Shorts are entering. They see this candle, a lot of selling. Okay, I'm gonna short this too because there's a lot of selling. But what happens is that they can get trapped. So this one sold, didn't break down. So once it doesn't break down, and I know it has room to run, you want to keep your eyes on this play because it has room to run. There's large selling, so there's already shorts in this play already. And so as the time goes on, you see this massive candle right here, just rip past this short trap right here. Boom, rips past it. I believe I missed this play because I don't really like playing stocks into lunch hours. So, but if you were to buy here at 304, the plan would have worked perfectly. You buy at 3, you're risking right below those candles at 254, and it just continues to hold that large candle right there. And what do you know? It tops out at this 330 area, or that 330 area on the daily. So it's definitely a zone to see, because you definitely want to know where there's resistance, and sometimes it can run a little bit above that. Sometimes it hits it exactly. That's where the unpredictability comes in. But just know that it can run, so you want to just make sure you know where to sell and when to sell it. So it charted. So here's the 330 area, so where your sell target would be. It tried to go above that, and then it rejected right away. And at the end of the day, ended up just fading down. So that was a good little play there too, if you knew how to look for that. Um, but it's all about those volume bars. That's all it is. It's just volume bars, looking at the daily, and knowing where to sell, and just knowing your risk, and just holding until your plan hits. Um, and I think there was another one today I was telling John about. I think I alerted it in the Discord room. I said SHPH had room to 2 plus. And the reason I said 2 plus is because, so here's today, looking on the daily here, extremely low volume. All this is low volume. So this whole section can reclaim easily from here, from this volume bar to today. So, because this volume bar topped out at this 285 area, and then after that it topped out at 2. And then you see before that had even more volume, where it kind of touched 2, got above 2 to 3, and then rejected. So you want to take the most recent volume bar, the most recent resistance level, which is right here. So, and these stocks love to test those resistance levels. So sell target would have been, I said 2. I thought I had room to 2, because it either can test the bottom of the resistance or here, or it can test the top of it. And if it has the upper wick, it can definitely test the upper wick. So those would have been the sell targets right here. Let's see what it did during the day. And during the day, so yeah, this was great. So pre-market, it had some low volume, and this is a 3-minute chart. So it opened up, ended up dumping, and then once this large red candle, so that's a good sign to see. So once you see that large selling, that's the key. Shorts are in. Okay, if it reclaims it, shorts are getting trapped. If you see a beautiful candle like this right here, this extreme strength. So we see this candle coming through, popping up towards this short trap area. Over 550,000 shares being bought and sold. That's a lot of shares and a lot of money. Um, so that's a pretty good sign. Even though the volume bar wasn't that great, it's the candle formation is so strong. This is so strong when it just finishes like this. No lower wick, but it has an upper wick. That's okay. It finishes green. Um, Buying at 167, risking 154, looking for a $2 target. That's a beautiful risk. And what do you know? It reclaims it. It's having some trouble. Then the true shorts are starting to cover is right here on this candle right here. As it approaches high a day here on this upper wick, it just takes off. After that, you can see volume building here. Boom, another large candle here at 2.3 million shares being bought and sold. Boom, and it kind of just runs. It runs a little bit, and then it pulls back, and then it catches shorts again. Then it touches the other resistance zone on the daily, and then it rejects right away. But if you notice, like, the points are pretty much almost like they won't hit them exactly. They might hit them just above it or below it. So you want to just kind of sell as close to it as you possibly can. Um, but, but yeah, that's pretty much what I look for. Is just, again, it's just all about volume, all about knowing knowing like knowing what a short trap looks like. And you always want to keep your eyes, even though you might get scared because you see large selling. Okay, obviously you don't know if it's gonna run up again. So obviously you don't want to be in it just yet. All you had to do was just wait for that beautiful candle to form and the volume to come through. You know, and that's your indicator right there. It's all about volume and the candle formations. And you always want to enter on the you always want to enter when it's at the end. So I trade the minute and the 3 minute. So I'm always entering at the end of whatever time frame I'm trading. I'm not going to enter at 30 seconds. Like, look down here, like 9:21:16. I would wait until this. If I play the minute chart, I would wait till this 23 seconds, 24. I would wait to enter at 9:22 because then once it's done, because once the minute ends, you see the formation of the candle. No one ever told me that. Everyone's, oh, I'm getting in here, getting in here. No, you want to wait for that formation of the candle because that tells you everything. Because what if you got in here at a minute or a 3 minute? You got in here, you thought it was gonna, or you got in here the first 3 minutes of the open, you thought it was gonna go. Extremely weak candle right here, upper wick, lower wick. That's extremely weak. You would have got stopped out right away. So that's just it's all about volume, candle formation, knowing where it can run, and just waiting for that minute or 3 minute time frame to end. And that's super, super key. I know it's confusing right now, but the more we talk about it, the more it'll make sense. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today's for at least my part. Until more patterns form, so or technical analysis comes through. Um,
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you so much, Elite. I am highly interested for not knowing anything about penny stocks. You may have hooked me there for a bit. So
yeah,
thank you so much for sharing this. I do know that we probably will have a couple questions for you at the Q&A. So I'll go ahead and bring G-Force up. And then if anybody does have questions, feel free to hang on to them until the Q&A. And let me I guess I got to bring G-Force up here. That would be helpful. Hang tight. There we go. Have you pop up. And then Elite, I'll bring you up on stage when the Q&A starts. There you go, G-Force. It's all you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was interested in that as well. I've never traded penny stocks or low capitalized stocks, but that was really good. Now he's got me into it. Kind of reminded me of some crypto trading. So thanks for everybody being here. I'm going to finish up. I'm not going to take too long, but I'm going to show my screen here. And since Cryptix is not here, I'm going to start out with Bitcoin. And the issue with Bitcoin is basically flat. We see it right here. It's going flat, flat, flat. Nothing really to show for. We might get some action going here once the debt ceiling negotiations is resolved one way or the other. Maybe we'll get some more volume going on, but everything seems to be flat on Bitcoin. You can see with my chart, I mentioned before, I do like Bollinger Bands. This line right here goes all the way back to first part of March, and it's around just under 27,000. It's at 26,956 to be exact on it. And here we are trading along here, and we're just moving along. I'm not as excited about the trading as Elite is about his penny stocks because everything's going sideways. You'll see here, the reason why I like Bollinger Bands is that it on this day, it went all the way down to the 3 standard deviation, which is unheard of. It happens every once in a great while, and then it shot right back up to the 2 standard deviation. So we know if you want to cover, like Elite said, if you want to, shorts are going to cover, that's an area to get into. That would definitely be a move that was significant. But right now, Bitcoin is just trading sideways. Everything's coming down. The black middle line, the mean line, is just coming down. You'll see the upper Bollinger Bands are going down. You'll see the lower Bollinger Bands are coming up. So when they start to come together and the channel starts to narrow, then you know something is going to happen at that point. Let's take a look at ETH. So right now, basically, we have Ether, and it's just going flat as well as Bitcoin. did, and it did pop up though yesterday. Well, actually today. So we're looking at that. It's going to hit the top triangle. If you guys can see that, the top triangle is going to hit. So eventually, it's going to get to this point. Then we'll see if it's going to pop once this triangle starts to narrow in. Cryptics is really big about, he calls them magic triangles. I just call them regular triangles. Once the price compression starts to come in, and it's kind of like penny stocks as well as other cryptos. Once this price pressure comes in, then it's going to pop and take off. So whether to the upside or to the downside, that's anybody's guess, but that price compression with the pressure, it's going to move one way or the other on that. I'm also going to try to look at the SPY. So the S&P 500, unfortunately, is doing the same thing. It finally got some movement last week on Thursday, and actually Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. But it's also pulled back. Like today was a pullback day because it did hit the upper Bollinger bands. So this will come up in a minute. You'll see it where last Thursday hit the upper Bollinger band, and then Friday it pulled back, and then yesterday wasn't much of a day, but then it pulled back again today. Hopefully that chart comes up. Again, I apologize for technical issues. I thought I had it solved, but apparently not. I don't know if hopefully it'll pop up here just like the other one did. But if not, then we can just move on to question and answer. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Kristen, why don't we just move on to question and answers?
Okay, we can definitely do that. I'll bring Elite back up here. There you go.
Yes, hello.
Perfect. So let me go and jump. G-Force, you can go ahead and stay up here as well, just in case there's any questions for you. That way I don't have to click around too much. So I'll have you guys stay up here. So great info, guys, this week. Question and answers. Anybody, if you don't want to come up on stage, you can drop your question in the chat. And I see we've got one person that wants to come up, but I'll get us started with the first question because I have quite a bit. But Elite, so I understand penny stocks can be highly volatile and they seem like they're very fast moving, which is quite intriguing. But for a noob like myself, what is the best way to get started in penny stocks? What would be kind of maybe one or two things that I should, other than popping into the penny stocks channel and asking you a million questions, what would you say would be kind of, where should I go? Or maybe some first steps to kind of get started in penny stocks?
Right. So, I mean, how I started pretty much was on YouTube, and YouTube has some great info. There's a lot of traders on YouTube that I follow too, and they know as much as I do. So, and they're already making videos on it. So I can drop some names and some YouTube channels which with who I learned from, which that's all they do is just penny stocks and OTC stocks, and then they already have videos on how to trade and their analysis too. So YouTube is priceless information on there.
That would be great. Yeah, if you can drop that in, I will definitely check them out. And I do know that OXJew, he was wondering which tickers he missed. So I was actually not writing them down, but which ones did you cover in today's call?
I was talking about a TOP. That was a supernova a few weeks ago. T for Tom, O for just O, and then P. And then I was talking about UCAR, UCAR, for a first Green Day play that happened on the 27th of April. And then I was talking about INAB, which happened pretty recently too, INAB. And then today's play was SHPH. Sometimes the penny stock land has been a little slow, so when these plays come through, it's finally starting to pop off. But yeah, SHPH was today's play, was the only play, in my opinion. But yeah.
Nice. Now, I see Pepe's up on the stage, and I believe he had a question that he dropped into the request channel. But I will go ahead, if you'd like, I'll go ahead and let you ask the question that you had.
Yeah, so it just seems like you're running support and resistance and then focused on volume, right? Is there anything else that you look at? Or, I mean, besides your scanner?
For my scans, no, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just just volume on the day and float size matters. So and just that's pretty much it. I don't keep it. It's nothing too hard. Only indicators on the chart are just I use sometimes is VWAP and the volume bars on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. It's all just
Cool.
pure technical analysis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, you're gonna get me into it for sure. Yeah, man, you had me captivated the whole time. I was squinting to see my screen. But yeah, no, for real though. Like, I'm definitely gonna get into this because I feel like the thing that you were saying was the major selling point to me, where you're like, during you don't trade during lunch hours, but with crypto, you get I feel like I'm trading all the time, paying attention all the time, like at night. Middle of the night, I'll look at the charts and stuff like that. But with penny stocks, it's not like that. So, I mean,
cool. That's what's cool.
Yeah.
With penny stocks, the times of trade. When
right.
it's a certain time. It's like, all right, so at this time is your best chance. When it's lunch hours, all right, I'm good. No thanks. And then the end of the day from 11 to 1, that's like, all right, this is prime time right now. So now we know when, just keep your eyes on the chart and volume and if you can run, and that's it.
Yeah, that's solid, dude. I like it. I'm gonna join you.
Cool. Let's do it.
So thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, expect a massive influx into the penny stocks channel. We're all gonna come bombard you. Fantastic. So I don't see any more hands raised and no other questions in the chat that I am seeing, but I do want to say thank you, Elite Trading and GeForce, for sharing your charts and your trading insights in this episode today. And we're glad everybody was able to join us. And if you are listening in later, feel free to pop in next Tuesday as we look forward to learning a thing or two about trading and sharing market outlooks with the community. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Tuesday evening.
Yep. Thanks for having me. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.